All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's having a good afternoon. Ready to get this party started? All right, well, we're just going to get this bad boy started. I've got some questions for you guys. Keep this nice and simple. What's up, everyone? Welcome, welcome. I got some questions for you, and then you guys can throw me whatever questions you have as well as we go along. So, yo, everybody. Hello. Hope everyone's having a good night, good afternoon. It's night now, I guess, technically. All right. All right, all right, all right. Calvin, I'm not sure that's English, my friend. I'm not sure what language it is you speak. I gotta get my background music going. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. Ooh, have I stumped some of you guys already? Saw dude is not a millennial greeting. No way. I don't believe you for 1 second. I love that I got a stumper right from the beginning. Endocrine system, boys and girls. Endocrine system. It's on your test tomorrow. Quiz, not test. Quiz tomorrow. You have a quiz tomorrow. Not the pineal gland. Let me give you some options. Let's go. Yeah, it's the hypothalamus, guys. Abby got it right from the beginning. Hypothalamus. Yeah, hypothalamus does a lot of stuff, which I'll try not to scare you too much with, but ooh, you're looking for the hypothalamus. Yep. It helps with that, like the whole dealing with like thirst is a big key there. Thirst, being tired is part of it as well. Because if you're taking a look at the hypothalamus and talking about, okay, what does it do in the like, yes, it's the brain of the endocrine system, but what else is it doing? So it regulates hunger, it regulates your thirst, it helps with sleep and wakefulness, and then all those other like involuntary things that we do, also including body temperature. Yeah, the hypothalamus is like a beast. It does so much. Be thankful you have a hypothalamus. Yep. Yep. All right. Well, I'm sure it was his on. Yeah, no worries. Hey, this is why we're here. This is why we're here. Going through these. I'm not giving you any soft ones either. Making it difficult. All right, here we go. Next one. Next one. All right. Get this. Next one. We'll be all right. We'll get there. I threw you a hard one to start, so Getting you nice and warmed up. This is broken into 3 parts, so hold on, don't say anything yet. Hold on. I have like a 200. You have like a 200 character limit or whatever, so it's not a big deal for you guys, but for me, when I'm like putting in questions, it can be kind of a pain. Yep. Good. Amygdala. Yep. Amygdala is what we're looking for. Physiological psychology or the biology of the brain is on. All that good stuff. Amygdala, you guys are great. You guys are gonna do great. See? Easy peasy. Like all the stuff that I talk about is like super easy, but then all the stuff that you guys read about is like hard. Why is that? All right, hold on. Don't be scared, Hadia. You're not even in the class anymore. Bam. Yes, Emma. Yeah, definitely needs to go get in that CT scan. See what's up. See what's up with the brain. See what's wrong. You study for them. They'll be fine. They're fine. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Careful with the dabs. All right, here we go. Yep, cerebellum. That's what we're looking for. Grant, you're a man after my own heart. Except for I've been known to dab, so I can't fault Emma. So all right, here we go. This is another 3-parter because all of these are really long. So give me a second. Here we go. Next question. Don't say anything. Trains is still a thing, man. I've not let that die. I mean, no one really does it, but it's still here. I still post trains. All right, there we go. There's your next question. Dude, I got some good music in the background going. I'm having trouble like not just jamming out. Oh, this is one of those yeah. Link the music. It's just the stuff that I listen to in class, guys. It's not like a big thing. It's just synthwave. It's just been good. It's just been good stuff, man. I need to update my what's it called? Not Pandora. That other thing you use, Spotify. I need to update my Spotify. Yeah, tea's caffeine. You didn't know that? Come on, Cal. Tea's got plenty of caffeine. Hey man, you do your thing. Yeah, sorry. Sure, sorry. Give me just 1 second. Yeah, reticular formation is what I'm looking for. Yeah, it's a bunch of songs together. It'll like cycle through stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah, Naomi. Yeah, you need to know the hormone association. Definitely. Yeah, we're looking for reticular formation on this one, guys. Reticular formation. Okay, so Sarah's question before was like, hey, why was it cerebellum beforehand? So Paulina is an Olympic gymnast. During a complicated routine, she fell from the uneven bars directly onto her head. Paulina was slightly confused and disoriented after the fall, but recovered after resting several minutes. Over the next few few weeks, Paulina noticed that she was unable to do much of her choreography, especially her world famous balance beam routine. Yeah, hey, just remember, let's like all the stuff that we know how to do physically, like those voluntary motions of walking, throwing a ball, dancing, doing, this routine, like we don't have to spend all of our time thinking about how it's done. Like you don't sit there and like, okay, I got to make sure this like technique or whatever, I got to twist my hand like this, and that's because the cerebellum is taking charge. So that's a closet, like a big case cerebellum thing right there. That's her balance beam routine is all cerebellum. Her cerebellum's taking control of that almost completely. So that's why it's damaged. Yep. Oh yeah. We'll learn about alpha waves in a little bit, Calvin. Yep. Yeah. Fatima, because she's having trouble sleeping. Like it's damaged her alertness or her wakefulness, and so she's constantly like nodding off and stuff. So that's the reticular formation. Remember, controls our arousal. So arousal not being, that person's really attractive, but it's, how alert, how awake you are. Letters on. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Good to hear from you. FRQ's over the limbic system. Yeah, thanks, Chloe. Thank you, Manu. You could also, Shanzai, you could also say it's part of the pons specifically. So you could legitimately say it's either the pons or the reticular formation. And hey, guess where both of those things are in the brainstem? Well, the pons is literally in, and it's all part of the old brain. Yep. Izan, go do your homework. Don't worry, the hype trains are here. We just, we haven't put them out yet. So, all right, here we go. More questions, unless you guys want other things. These are so long. All these questions are so long. Let me jump ship. Let me do something else. Okay. All right, so here we go. Next question is talking about. Okay, so next question. The next one is I'm just listing the advantages and disadvantages of a specific machine, and then you are going to tell me which it is, whether or not it's bam. So advantages are up top and disadvantages below. Oh, or the drawbacks. One other drawback is not a great brain. There you go. Ooh! Oh no! You guys are in so much trouble. It's not PET scan. Oh no, guys! No! No! Oh no! Oh. Ah, Femi! Yes! Femi got it! Oh no. Good Talia. Yeah, good Emma. Yeah, CT scan. It's alright. Not EEG. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is alright. Alright. Alright, all of you stop. Alright, I'm gonna stop doing questions. Let's just talk about some stuff. Let's just lecture. I will tell you why. Okay. So um okay, so yes, not a good pick of the brain. Yeah, good Talia. Yeah, CT. Okay, okay. So let's just run through these. Let me see if I have my give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can pull up my old lecture slides on these and just go through a lecture of this. because it's pretty quick. I can go through these pretty quick. So I think I still have it on here. It's like, do I have it on this computer versus the other computer? Okay, I got it. Okay, let us transition over here. Give me half a moment. All right. No longer my face, and let's go to the PowerPoint. All right. Okay. So, as you can see, I got a bunch of like notes here. All these notes are on the lecture notes slides or lecture notes that you can see on Schoology. So you can check. You don't have to like try to strain to read that stuff. It's already available to you. Okay. So, yeah. No, PET doesn't give a good image of the brain either, Emma. That's the MRI. Moha, the if you looked above, that was the disadvantages that I posted up there. The drawbacks: delivers a high dosage of radiation to the patient and not a great picture of the brain. Those are the two major disadvantages of the CAT scan. fMRI, I'll talk to you about in a little bit. How do we know which brain imaging technique to use? We'll talk about that. Yes. Oh, yeah, Hidea, I'll talk. Hidea, you're not even on here. You don't need to be asking me questions. But I'll talk about that anyways. I'll talk about that too, Chris. Give me a second. Could you explain what the pituitary gland? Yes, yes. Aman, can you just shelf that question until I finish talking about the different brain machines, and then can you pop that question back up again if I forget about it? Because I'm going to talk about these. Okay, so let's start with this. EEG, electroencephalogram. All right, so basically all we have is we have a machine that is scanning the surface of the brain. It is looking at the electrical signals that are being carried across and passed along the surface of the brain. So guys, this is just checking out what your neurons are doing and how it's communicating with the brain and other parts of the body. So most often this is used to check out people who are sleeping, people who are in seizures, and all of that stuff. Emma, throw Emma some trains while I continue to lecture. Thank you, Emma. Good stuff. So, my computer just exploded. Oh no, what's happening? Uh-oh. Hold on, hold on. Half a moment. Sorry guys, give me a second. My computer is doing weird stuff. Okay, so while I'm fixing this, let me get back on with my EEG. Okay, so EEG, most often used with people who are sleeping, so we can measure where they are, like what stage of sleep they're in. We will talk more about this when we get to states of consciousness, which will come up here later. What we are going to do is you put this little pod on there's like all these little patches on their head, and it measures those brain waves that travel across the surface of the brain, and it really just kind of like lets you know, okay, how active, like what is the brain doing, is it awake, is it doing things, but it's not telling you where it's active, it's not telling you like what part of the brain is doing what. It's the most basic type of basic form of brain like measuring and analysis. Okay, now for the EEG, just running through advantages and basic advantages and disadvantages for the EEG. First, is that it's super non-invasive, and it's way cheaper than a lot of the other stuff. You can put this on a baby. So think about some of the other things that you're doing, like a CT scan. We're hitting people with radioactive stuff. And if it's just for a short amount of time, like it's okay. But man, you're like talking about a baby, and you're like, man, you don't want to screw with that kind of stuff. So it's super cheap, super non-invasive. You can see you can get some info about a person's brain, about how active it is, about what's going on. Now, drawbacks is that shows no structure of the brain, no anatomy, not like it does. You don't get a picture of what's going on. And it doesn't tell you anything about specific regions of the brain. It's just the entire thing. So kind of those things that I talked about. So those are the major advantages, and those are the major disadvantages for the EEG. Okay. So next we have the CT scan, or the CAT scan, CT CAT scan. Okay, so it's like I said, it's a series of those X-rays where you go into that tube and it cuts slices of your brain in order for you to, and so that's what's being seen, is those different slices of brains. Okay. Um, what is the What's the difference between brain anatomy and brain function? What do you mean? Like, I don't think I was using those in different in a different way. It's like the function is what it does, and I think I would say the anatomy is like how it's shaped, how it's formed, where it is. Is that so? I don't know. I'm not really sure what your question is there. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Christine. Christine, throw Christine some trains. Train. Thank you, Christine, for answering questions. Um, There are, in the end, you're not going to need to know any of the endocrine disorders for this quiz. So I'm giving it a pass on that. So I looked at all of those, and I'm gonna do a pass on that. You do need to know the disorders for you do need to know the disorders for the neurotransmitters, but you guys don't need to know there's just no questions on the quiz for those. So you get a pass on that. Okay. You guys good with the electroencephalogram? Okay, moving to the CT scan. You're welcome. Okay. So for some reason this does this a lot, is that this thing, okay, no, it's okay, it's up to date. Okay. So yeah, so I talked about that in class. I think that's good. Like, just it's taking those X-rays, and it's cutting out those pieces. It doesn't have, so advantages, like we said before, doesn't give a great picture of the brain. However, it's cheaper than some of the other things. And it does allow us to see like cerebral blood flow and movement and stuff like that. But overall, it's really just used for this kind of picture and like, hey, where's this damage and stuff like that. Okay, so PET scan's the big one. It is awesome. Like, and this is what we're really talking about when we're talking about brain activity. Like, if you take a look at these pictures, let me kind of make it a little bigger for you. Like, when you're taking a look at these pictures, this is showing you areas of the brain that are active, what's going on activity wise. Like, this is big stuff. So here you see the two very different brains. You have a person who is depressed, and there's just not a lot of activity going on. You can see that the brain does not have, like, color wise, it's darker than a person whose brain is not depressed. So hold on one second. Teddy is barking. Okay, so oh, Fatima, thank you for posting that. That's awesome, girl. Trains for Fatima, posting Quizlets. Way to go, girl. Thank you very much. That was awesome. All right. Okay. What's going on? Okay. So kind of give you an idea. So sorry, I'm a little all over the place right now. So to give you an idea, like depression is not like, oh, I'm super super sad. Um, Being super sad is a symptom of it becomes a symptom of um, what is wrong with my thing? Is a symptom of the kind of the bigger issue, and it's this fact that your brain is really inactive when a person is dealing with depression, and that is the main issue that's going on is that it is inactive, and you can see in the picture that the brain is just like it's just not doing stuff. So this is what a PET scan is super super good for. And so you can have someone that goes into a a place and they're not like laying down, they've just got this machine on their head and they're doing things, they're they're talking to someone or they're working through something. And what that allows is that allows for people to track, or the doctors to track, okay, what specific areas are wrong. And so you take a look at this at the bottom picture at this Alzheimer's patient, and if you remember, Alzheimer's is, people losing their memories and losing their ability to remember things. And hey, guess what? The hippocampus is right in the middle of your brain. And this is the area where, that it's losing, where the brain is inactive. And you can see how little is going on in this space. It's literally black while the rest of it is well colored. Um, so that's what we're looking at when we're looking at the PET scan. Okay, like I said, advantages: great images of the brain while it's active. Disadvantages: well, it is expensive. Um, let's see. What else? What else would I say is a disadvantage for a PET scan? Um, yeah, I mean, you've got the tracer substance that you have to put in them, that radioactive glucose. I mean, I think it sounds awesome, but it's probably not the best thing. Um, so, yeah, okay, cool. All right, so that is the PET scan. So next we have the MRI, and you guys should know you should know a decent amount about the MRI. The MRI is more common. I mean, we use it for in a lot of different instances to look at like knees and different parts of the body. And it's so good because it gives us a really great picture of what the brain looks like, because it's so good at picking up that different type of tissue within the brain, the different soft tissue, and allows us to see, the gyri of the cortex. It allows us to see the cerebellum, brainstem, all those parts. And so another thing, so advantages, as it says here in the notes, there's no radioactive material being used. Gives you it can give you all dimensions of the brain, however you want to look at it. It's non-invasive. Um, you just need to not have metal objects in your head, and you need to be able to sit tight for a long period of time. Um, you have disadvantages being you have to be in there for a long time. It's expensive. You have small kids or maybe someone who's claustrophobic. It's just not going to work. Like, they're just not going to be able to do these things. So, um, no, there won't be any pictures on the quiz. Christine, this PowerPoint is not online, but you see the notes at the bottom. That's on Schoology. So if you just hop over to Schoology, you just go to whatever period you're in, go to the chapters, go to biology of behavior, and you just hit the lecture notes and vocab, and you'll see biology of the brain. Oh, do I even have I even think I have I even think I have the thing. Yeah, so it's all, let's see, it's somewhere in here. I've got stuff on all the different neurotransmitters, like all the stuff that we didn't talk about, like is on there. Yeah. Oh, I don't have the advantages and disadvantages on there. Let me see what's on the brain imaging technique stuff. I'm trying to remember, I posted this a while ago. Oh no, that's just the form. I need to get rid of that because that's not helpful. But yeah, I mean, most of the stuff is on there, so easily acceptable. Okay, cool. All right, next. Next we have the fMRI, and guys, this is just like the MRI advanced. Basically, they just use lots of different MRI pictures and they jam them together. Um, so, like, it's really good, and it allows us to see the brain in action as it's moving, as it's doing stuff. And it allows us to see blood flow, and so we can see what's going on with the brain. So it's another thing. It's kind of like the PET scan where you get to see what's going on with the like activity and stuff like that. And then lastly, we have the MEG. Guys, just recognize the MEG helps with the pathology. It helps us see, what is the source of the disease, or whatever brain damage is going on. So there you go. All right, there's your quick rundown of the different. Um, Here's your rundown of the different machines. Okay, sorry that took me a little longer than I wanted it to. So that's it. That's that. Cool. Um, all right, I can put up some more. I'll put up some more questions. But if you guys want to ask me about that, you can. Yep. Yeah. Hey guys, don't forget. Never forget. Like, if you're like, what the heck is all of this or whatever? I just have tons of resources online. I have like hop onto Schoology, man. Like, there's review stuff. There's I have the Quizlets up. I have the Quizlets for the vocabulary. Those crash course videos are no joke. Like, those are useful. Um, like when I was first starting to teach this, and trying to figure out, because I knew psychology, but there's like what does this course need in order to be taught? And a bunch of it is really just the the formula, or what they are doing, follows that quite closely. It follows a lot of what we do very closely. So hello, Teddy. Teddy is wanting to say hello early. Hello. Yeah, I know. I'm very excited to see you too. Hello. And so are all my students. Okay. How familiar do we have to be with the neurotransmitter chart? Do we have to memorize them all and their functions? Yep, Hala. That's just one of those things that like you just have to know all of the different neurotransmitters and what they do. You have to be able to differentiate them. It's kind of one of the, like, I don't know, less enjoyable things about this chapter, but it's going to come. The thing is it's going to come up again in 2 chapters when we start talking about drugs. So when we talk about drugs in states of consciousness, like, if you don't know these different types of neurotransmitters, it's just going to come back. Like, it just comes back again, and you just have to, because you have to know now how the drugs interact with the neurotransmitters and how it affects excitatory versus inhibitory neurotransmitters. And so if you get it down now, then you're able to, you don't have to like go through it all over again, or just get take 2 L's because you don't know it here and then you don't know it again there. So okay, if that makes sense to you. Okay. Hey bud, how are you? Okay. Yeah, adrenal glands. Major thing for adrenal glands is its secretion of cortisone and adrenaline. Mostly adrenaline. You'll see that more often than anything. So it's helping you react in emergencies. It's helping you like, fight or flight. So it's up there helping with the amygdala and stuff like that. It also helps with your like metabolic processes. And so, like water balance, blood pressure, dumb stuff like that. But the main thing, so there's lots of like little things, but the main thing that you're going to see is going to be that is that adrenaline and getting you ready for fight or flight type stuff. That is what you will most often see when you hear or think about the adrenal glands. Hello. Your breath does not smell great. Okay. Yep. Oh, thank you, Abby. Good, Abby. Yep. Trains for Abby and Chloe. Yeah, you got it. And that's your big thing. Okay. Hadi, I'll answer your questions in a second. For FRQ and the limbic system, will we need to know the stuff we talked in class or other parts of the limbic system? No, only the stuff we talked about in class. Only stuff we talked about in class. The Brain Machines Quizlet. Oh, I don't have a Brain Machines Quizlet. I have just a vocab Quizlet. Yeah, the Quizlet is not specifically about the brain machines. It has some of them in there, but that's not what it's specifically about. But yeah, it's under in biology behavior unit, and then there's just a big link on the last thing. Yeah, what Abby said. No, just Naomi. No, you don't need to know the differences. You just need to know what the three of them do, because it'll pop up. Okay, so acetylcholine. Okay, what do you want to know about acetylcholine? Oh, just talk about it? Sure. Okay, so acetylcholine. So let me think. What do I need you to remember? Um, like it's the thought, the learning, memory. It helps like get your muscles activated and moving. It helps with attention and like getting awake. Um, like the thing is, like this is the kind of stuff that like you just need to know. Like you just have to go through, sort out the differences between the two, and just get through it. Um, Remember that acetylcholine, like the big thing is its deficit is Alzheimer's disease. That'll probably pop up. Like if you're looking at that chart and you see, hey, like um, this this specific disorder, so acetylcholine, dopamine, acetylcholine with Alzheimer's, dopamine with Parkinson's disease. Those are the two big ones. Serotonin with depression, that's a big one. So you just need to know like what those deficits or possibly the surplus. I'm trying to think if there's one of the surpluses that's like really good or that's often comes up. Not really. Yeah, acetylcholine, dopamine, and serotonin, those are the ones that pop up the most because it's dealing with depression. Serotonin, a lack of serotonin causes depression, a lack of dopamine causes Parkinson's disease, and a lack of acetylcholine causes Alzheimer's. And all you got to do is you got to jump back. Okay, what the heck is Alzheimer's? Alzheimer's is when people who are older forget and can't remember their past and can't remember people in their family, and then you go back and you look at the function of acetylcholine: learning, memory, attention. Boom, all things that deal with Alzheimer's disease. Let's go to dopamine also, schizophrenia. In high amounts of dopamine, you have schizophrenia. So we'll talk more about schizophrenia later when we get to um, abnormal psychology, but we'll get there. And then yeah, so serotonin, depression, and you can just see it's mood regulation, hunger and sleep, all that stuff. So okay, cool, 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 cool. All right, let me know if that answered your question or if you're still puzzled. I think I talked about the pineal gland earlier, didn't I? I feel like I said something. I thought I talked about the pineal gland. Did I? Or did I talk about the adrenal gland? I did not talk about the Okay, I did not talk about the pineal gland. Okay, sure. Sorry. Okay, I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute. I thought I had talked about the pineal gland. Let me think. Melatonin. That's one of the big ones. Yeah, like sleep is like the big thing. Yeah, sleep and circadian rhythm. So if you were thinking about the pineal gland, that's probably your biggest one. Sleep and circadian rhythms. That's what I would remember about it. That's like your kind of your big thing. Yeah, sleep and circadian rhythm. So okay, cool. That's kind of your big things that I just keep in mind there. Okay. So limbic system is just the amygdala, hypothalamus, pituitary gland. Yeah, that's what you need to know for me. Yeah. Yes, Grant. Yeah, that is correct. That's all. That's all you need to remember for me. Christine, are you asking like why is one excitatory versus inhibitory, or are you asking what is the difference between what an excitatory versus an inhibitory does? Christine, can you go down to the bottom and re-ask what you're asking? Because if you're asking like why is it a neurotransmitter excitatory or inhibitory, that's something that you don't really need to know. So so I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, so can you explain why a neurotransmitter is yeah. If that's your question, you don't need to know that. Um, if you're asking what the difference is that they do, is that what you're asking? Why yeah, why is one yeah, you don't need to know. You don't need to know that. Yeah, that's not a big deal. Just remember that excitatory brings up the energy level, allows more neurons to fire, like more action potentials to happen, and inhibitory slows things down. Yeah, you don't need to know there. Like that's that's much more advanced than we have to worry about. So it's good. It's a good question though, but we just don't. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, endorphins. Yeah. Working out. Yeah. Like that feeling you get at like the high that you get after like a really good workout, like that feeling of like tiredness but like I'm feeling good. Like people get addicted to working out, like that's a thing. Sex is another example of that. A lot of endorphins are released during sex. Yeah, like when you're like woo, like elated or excited, all that stuff is going on. So oftentimes it's going to like bring down pain, and it's gonna like you ignore that a lot less, and you're focused on what's feeling good. So that would be an example of endorphins. Okay. All right. What is the difference of the cerebellum and the motor strip if they both regard motor movement? Right, Abby, good question. So cerebellum is like, I would say it's more of the it's like both things are active at that time. And I like to think of the cerebellum as like this is the stuff that I know how to do, and I don't have to think about these things anymore. I don't have to pay attention to this type of stuff anymore. I don't have to think about walking. I don't have to think about you know waving my hands around or throwing a tennis ball. Like that stuff I don't have to think about anymore because that's what the cerebellum is in charge of. And the motor strip is just a part of that as well. It's the part that is helping direct that same stuff, and it's more. You'd say it's probably more involved when you are making decisions about what you are going to do, and maybe a little bit more intricate and more of the intricate movements that you do. You are never going to get, and you're never going to get to a point where I'm like comparing the two. Like, oh, is this the Sarah? A person is moving around and trying to keep their balance. Is this the cerebellum or is this the motor cortex or motor strip? That won't happen. So Not a lot, Emma, just that they deal with those things. I don't know why they specifically want them. It's just like one of those AP things that they want us to specifically know those two strips. Um, and I mean, it's already kind of covered in the um, frontal and parietal lobe, but that's what they want. Can you explain hormone association and the function of the pituitary gland? Sure. Okay. So first off, hormone association, all I'm asking or all I'm wanting you to know is like, hey, what hormone is does this thing release? So pituitary gland basically controls all of the other glands, and it's controlled by the hypothalamus. And its biggest thing is influences your growth, your physical, like how tall you get and how big you are. So it also helps with um, metabolism and a little bit of like regeneration, like regenerating cells and stuff like that. Okay. For corpus callosum, are the neurofibers connected? They are connected. Yes, they are connected. Would endorphins work as pain meds? Would endorphins work as pain meds? Yes. I'm trying to think. I'm just blanking on this on um um 'cause what I'm trying to remember is it's more of what drugs affect what neurotransmitters, like um how do they influence the different neurotransmitters. So do um, opioids have a lot to do with like inhibitory opioids are what are a lot of pain medications and stuff is. So um, based on your question, I would say that certain drugs affect your endorphin levels, and so that would, increase or decrease your amount of pain. So, like, I kind of have to dance around what your question is asking to answer that, if that makes sense. So, okay. Um, can you explain the difference between resting membrane potential and threshold because they both yeah, okay. So Naomi, think of resting potential is your neuron is ready to send a message, and so it's just hanging out, it's just chilling, it's just kind of doing whatever. And then as the excitement level begins to rise, as more excitatory neurotransmitters come in and hit it, the energy levels go up. And once they hit that threshold, that minimum level of stimulation, you have that burst of energy, and that's you having an action potential. So, um, so that's the difference. The resting potential is just your neuron is chilling, it's just hanging out, and then when it wants to send a message, when I want to twiddle my fingers or whatever, um, those messages have to travel the through to different neurons, and once that gets up to that threshold, boom, you have your action potential. Okay, so that was ignoring extreme pain. Yes, yeah. Yeah, and it's also, yeah, the adrenaline going through you and stuff, and that's why you ignore all that kind of stuff. Yep. Yep. Well, actually, Abby, uh yeah, what did I say? Yes, yes, Abby, correct. A mix of it, but lots of adrenaline. Lots of adrenaline. Yeah. Okay. Sarah, biggest thing for thymus. Just recognize that it helps us build resistances to diseases. That's kind of its big thing. All of it's like if you were to take all that it does and summarize it in like a quick sentence, it's like a big time, hey, I'm just here to help build resistance against diseases. That's its thing. Yeah. Oh, all of the questions that I've asked you so far, like all of these scenarios, that's like that's what I'm talking about. That would be a that would be an example of what it would be. These big long like examples of what's going on. So then you would like apply the term and you would, define the term, give a little example, and then apply what's happening in the story. Like those ones that I was giving you at the very beginning. That's what that would be. No, less not really, Sarah. Like you need to know mostly what the endocrine system does. It is a good idea to be able to. Here's the thing, like, it's a good idea to be able to reference the hormones. And the reason why is because some of them are really important, and some of them are well known and more often used. And so, what will happen is you'll see not only the name of the gland, but also the name of the hormone that it secretes within the question. And so, if you know both of them, you're much more likely to remember what is going on. Yeah. Fatima, an aphasia is. Um, Leo, let me answer your question in a second. Fatima, definition of aphasia: aphasia is any type of language disorder. So both of those, the damage to the Broca's area and Wernicke's area, those were aphasias. Stuttering, mutism, all of that, all those are different types of aphasias. Okay. To what extent does plasticity work? Yeah, Abby, great answer. It's case by case. Just recognize that children are more likely to have better plasticity than people who are older. And usually about the age of 25, that's where you have the cutoff is like now after that your brain's kind of done developing and so it's not going to recover as much. Abby, that's the corpus callosum. The cerebral cortex is just that the 85% of your brain that you see, and it's just like all that higher end functions. Like it's what really separates us from other animals, and why we're more intelligent because this part of our brain is just more advanced. So, uh, Chloe, you need to know about Broca's area and Wernicke's area. So I'm not going to be popping out like random aphasias on you or whatever, but can you explain the relationship between the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland? Yeah, hypothalamus is the boss, and it basically tells um, it's like having the how do I want to say this? Like you have the head boss and it tells the pituitary gland what it wants all of the rest of the glands to do, and then the pituitary gland sends hormones that then tell them. So it's like me telling Shanzay, hey Shanzay, go tell the class that they need to make sure and finish the homework or whatever. I would be the hypothalamus and Shanzay would be the pituitary gland. Yep. Thank you, Abby. Thyroid gland mostly just deals with your regulating your energy and your metabolism. Thank you, Shanse. That's 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 the major aspects of the thyroid gland: regulating your energy and regulating your metabolism. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's see. I haven't given you guys any questions in a while. See if we can get something. Um, all right, here we go. Next question for you guys. Good, Corpus Callosum. All right, here we go. Hard question. Good luck. You got, kids. Ooh, Abby's on top of it. She was ready. We're gonna go. We are going with dopamine is probably the number one answer, but endorphins I would actually be okay with. Yeah, because endorphins are helping you with that high or whatever. So that's fine. I'm fine with that. Corpus callosum, Manu, is the band of neural fibers that splits the two hemispheres of your brain and allow them to communicate with each other. No, Abby, you could do both. I would say dopamine is your number one answer, and then I could see you arguing about, oh hey, endorphins could work too. So I wouldn't put both of those as answer choices. You would just have one of the two. So okay, here we go. Next question. Um, hmm, I already kind of did that. Here we go. Because dopamine is specific with addiction, Talia. You take a look at that chart. It straight up deals with addiction, and especially in surplus of dopamine causes lots of drug addiction. So, yep, I got you. No, Abby, you would not get points for a wrong answer justified. Oh, what do you mean? Like, I mean, if it was justified, I mean, if you like gave a justification that was incorrect, or if you, I mean, no, I mean, if it's a wrong answer and you justify it, that still means it's a wrong answer. So no. If you did not give like yeah, so no, no, that would not work. Okay. Yep. Serotonin is what we're looking for. Good. Sorry, I was trying to find another question. Mm. All right, here we go. Another question. Yeah, you'll do fine. You'll be fine. The thing is like this quiz isn't hard. The problem is it's kind of like what the issue with the test was is that it's like you guys have to get comfortable with this idea of finding like reading up things and finding what's important, and it's just something that you guys have to keep practicing and keep getting better at. So yeah. So if you don't feel like you know the endocrine system, there's going to be a couple questions on the endocrine system. There's going to be a couple questions on neurotransmitters. There's going to be a couple questions on um, the readings. There will be a few questions on the different parts of the brain. There'll be a few questions on the different brain machines on neurotransmitters. So it's a lot. This like if you put, I mean, how many, for those of you who've hopped onto the Quizlet, like um how many terms are there? There's like I think 80 or something. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff in this chapter. Like this is one of the densest chapters where there's just like you need to know lots of stuff. Let's see. How much? Oh, I don't have it like numbered on the vocab thing. Yeah, I mean there's just a ton. I think it's 80 something. So it's just a lot. So, yep. It's where we're Wait, hold on. What are you guys saying? Wernicke's? After Martin's car accident, he had difficulty understanding. Yeah, Wernicke's. Sorry. Yeah, Wernicke's. Good. Yeah. Yeah, it's the Wernicke's area. The Mostly just the lecture notes. Honestly, the FRQ here is kind of a softball. Um, like honestly, tomorrow, if you don't do well on the FRQ, I'm going to be I'll be shaking my head and a little annoyed with you, because the limbic system's pretty simple. Like you only got these four things to do, um, and you know the formatting of it. It's not going to be something crazy. Does what get better? I don't know. You tell me. All of it. You just need to know all of it, Shanze. There's no specific. Broca's area is the ability for your mouth to move. It's controlling the motor movements of your mouth. Yeah, Wernicke's area is language comprehension and expression. Mhm. No spelling. I am not checking your spelling. Yeah, yeah, Broca, you can't speak. Oftentimes, Amon, oftentimes a person with Wernicke's area, I mean, they can. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they can speak, but you just don't understand them. With Broca, they're not able to speak. Okay, here we go. Next one. Next one. Ooh, what are you doing? Go to sleep. Guys, y'all are killing me with how much sleep you get. You need more sleep. Ugh, so bad. You need like 8 hours of sleep. Teachers who give all this homework drive me crazy. Ugh. What part? Be specific, guys. All right, this is not a who got less sleep contest because Abby, you're losing that contest. You need to get more sleep. All right. Hey, look at finish reading. That you guys aren't done with this. You're answering correct. The sensory strip is correct, but you're missing something in particular. Yeah, I know. Just sleep more. Go to bed. Your brain doesn't process information if you're not awake. You have to sleep. There you go. Thank you, Chloe. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, right side sensory strip. Good, 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 good. Yeah, because you gotta just it'll obviously be one of the answer choices, but no, don't overthink it, Talia. Don't overthink it. I make better life choices than waking up at 4 in the morning to go do stuff. I do wake up early because I have to run Teddy. So, what time do you get up, Emma? What time do you get up to be at swim practice? Probably like 5. Probably 5. You're good, Talia. That's good. 4:30? Ooh, gross. No thanks. That is too early. No, but honestly though, it's better to wake up early, um, and have some time to like adjust than than it is. Grant, are you a swimmer too? I feel like you're a swimmer. Are you a swimmer, Grant? Am I wrong? Okay, Grant, you are the man. Good for you. All right, hold on. I don't know what redheads have to do with being long distance swimmers, but if you have an actual reasoning for that, I would love to be enlightened. Sensory strip. It's sensory strip because struck by a golf club. As a result, Margie has lost some sensory awareness of her left leg. Sensory awareness. Hello, it's in the name. Sense of what it is. Sense of like feeling there. That's why it's not the cerebellum. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. You guys got this. Hashtag so easy. Abby, I don't know what you're trying to post. I don't know what that is a site for. Oh, what is this? Oh, lovely. Oh, trains for Abby. Those are great. Yeah, those are a bunch of questions. Trains. Thanks, Ab. Thanks, girl. It's good. Wait, so if it's a sensory strip, sensory awareness will be in the question? No, no. I could say, no, Shanzai, I could say my sense of touch, the feeling, my inability to feel, all that stuff. That's what I would say. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys, man, if you dig around, you can find questions all over the place. There's always questions. That's what last year when I was first doing this, I would just be like frantically online, like looking for questions to ask students and stuff. So you'll find them online. Okay. All right. It's 9:11. So that's curtains for me. I need to go to bed. You guys should go to bed too. It's good for your health. It's good for your health. Sensory strip deals with your sense of touch. It's on the front part of the parietal lobe, and you can like pick out specific places where like this part right here specifically deals with like my fingers, and so if I put an electric probe here, I would feel sensations on this part of my hand. Yep. Yeah, guys, go to bed. Like, y'all are crazy how late you stay up. Just go to bed. Like, study, well, part of it is because y'all procrastinate. I mean, I know teachers give you a lot of homework, but that whole planning thing you got to get on top of that thing, sorting things out. I have to spend this much time doing stuff. So I understand the struggle, but I also understand the procrastination. Yeah, I know. Homework is a killer. So, but they should be this semester or this year, they've moved from requiring 11 daily grades to 9. So, I don't know. Hopefully that helps. So, all right. Otherwise, I'm out of here. So, thank you very much, guys, for hopping on the stream. Please go to sleep in the not so distant future. Don't stay up past 11. Go to bed at around 10:30. Okay. All right. Y'all have a great night. We will see you guys tomorrow.